Welcome to the soil station. In this station you will be learning about what soil is, why it's important, and the function that it performs for plants as well as humans and just the ecosystems in general. Okay, so for this station what you're going to need is your reading material, something to write with, a highlighter, which I don't have, so we're going to use a yellow marker, a single paper plate, and then some markers. So these markers need to be the dirt colored markers, so browns, grays, blacks. Some blue is good for some water, or any other colors that you think are appropriate for soil and dirt. It's not dirt, but it's soil, okay? All right. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your paper plate, and we're going to be putting this around the stem of the your model. If you haven't gotten that far, that's okay. You can still do this step. So you're going to cut a slit like this, and then you're just going to cut a little hole in the middle, just big enough so it's going to go around the stem of your finished flower. Okay, so you've got a little hole like this. Okay, so we're going to put that to the side, and then you're going to take your reading, and you're going to take your highlighter, and you are going to look at the questions that are down here at the bottom. Questions to consider. These are the things that you need to include on your notes, and you're going to be taking your notes on the paper plate. So you're going to take your highlighter, and you're going to highlight the answers to these questions in your reading. So side 1, side 2. And once you have highlighted them, you can move on to the next step. So you go ahead, pause the video, highlight the answers to those questions, and then start the video up once you're done with that step. All right, so once you have answered the questions, you're going to use those questions to fill in your soil. So in this case, we're going to be making some topsoil because it's on the top, hence the name. And so you're going to take your pen, you're going to write in some information. All right, so number 1 was, what are the 4 important functions that soil has? So like I might title it soil, and then I would write important functions. And then I would list them. It says there's 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's go over to another part. How soils help plants. Okay, so soils help plants by, and then you can list your things out there. What do roots depend on to survive? All right, so roots need something. Okay, you see what I'm doing here? So you're going to write your words on your plate first for your notes. Okay, and you're going to use your reading to make your notes. Then once you have written your notes on your plate, you're going to decorate it in the style of soil. So we're pretty familiar with soil, I imagine, and I think you all know that it's mostly brown. Some places like in East Texas it's actually red because there's a lot of iron ore in the soil, and when the iron ore hits the oxygen in the air, it turns red like rust. But in Dallas we have black dirt or brown dirt. So I'm gonna fill in some dirt. Dirt. I'm gonna color around my words. Go around my words so I can read them. Okay. Again, you can decorate this however you want. Okay. This is what I'm doing. If you want to do something different, go for it. It does need to be colored though. Something different can't be. I just colored on it twice and then left. I know some of you. I have you in class. All right. You're also going to need to include the ecosystems. So some organisms that live in the dirt. Oops. Pull out some colors here. All right, so I have this raspberry color. I'm going to make my bacteria raspberry colored because bacteria are super important. So I'm just going to fill in some bacterias. My prokaryotic cells. Okay. Then once you have added your bacteria, you need to add some of the other things. If you don't know things to add, here is a list of things that can live in the dirt. I myself, see, I'm going to draw some worms. I don't think my worms should be black. I think my worms should be this wormy color of sandy tan. My sandy tan worms. Okay, wormies, worms. Okay, they provide aeration for the soil, or air, so the soil's not super compact and like stuck together. Millipedes. All right, let's draw a little millipede here. So here's the body, and it has 1,000,000 legs. And then here's the body, and it has 1,000,000 legs. All right, what are some other things that live in the dirt? Ants. Ants live in the dirt. In Texas, we are super lucky to have fire ants, which hopefully none of you have ever had an encounter with. I have. It was unpleasant. So I'm going to take my red color, like super duper red. Here we go. Or just regular red. And I'm going to make some fire ants, because fire ants are horrible creatures. They're just mean. No, there's other type of ants, carpenter ants, sugar ants, army ants. If you have never seen army ants in the jungle, look them up. They're terrifying. They make bridges out of their own bodies to walk across. It's great. All right. So now I have this written notes with my decorations of things. Oh, I forgot to add one thing. Whoops. We also need some water, right? So I'm just going to put some little drops of water, because it's important for our soil to have water, because water is important to life. Without water, you have very little life. Here we go. Okay. If you don't have a completed model yet, just go ahead and take this with you to the next station. If you do have a completed model that looks like this, you're going to take your plate, put it around the stem of your model like this, and then you'll have it around the bottom so you can see the roots underneath and the topsoil on top. All right. So at the end, your model should look like this. All right. Once you finish this station, move on to whatever station you have not done yet.